Good times. Today we're doing some disco on the ukulele. A lot of this is from your right hand. It's based on the strum. I've done a lot of stuff on strumming recently, so check out some links in the description. New ukulele every Wednesday and Saturday. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you love it, think about becoming a Patreon. Printable tab with this lesson and all our lessons. Links up here in the notes. All right, let's do it. Grab the ukulele brain attention span, follow me on in, and let's break down Good Times by Chic. All right, so let's have some fun. We're gonna play some disco. Nile Rodgers is a tremendous guitar player, and if you think like, disco, cheesy, check out Chic and really listen to the guitar work of Nile Rodgers. And if you're still not convinced, look at some of his features. He's done some amazing stuff in some other bands. Now, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to play the same thing. We're going to start with this G chord, and we're going to bar the 2nd fret with our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string and our ring finger here on the 2nd fret. Now, if this were a guitar, you'd also be playing one more string, and you'd be playing an E note, which would transform this G chord into an E minor 7. So if you're playing with a friend, and if they can play the bass and hit that E, that will give this an E minor sound. If you think the G major sounds too happy, put your pinky down and get that minor sound. G major, E minor, the actual song's playing in E minor 7. It looks like this. You might need some help from the bass. Pinky, 5th fret of the E string, we get this cool E suspended sound. It's an E sus4. Okay, G, E minor, E sus4. Now the next chord we're going to play is an A suspended 4, and that's 2 2 0 0. Now I'm going to show you another way to play that 2. Then we're going to play an F sharp minor. Now you can also go from this G, instead of an A sus2, lift this up and play like this A9 shape. Essentially, it's kind of like an A chord. The G makes it A7, and the B makes it A9. And this F sharp minor, if you want, you can lift up your middle finger. It's an A13. Now, this A13, the A9, the E minor 7, all of these work a little better if you're playing with a bass player or a guitar player or even a ukulele player that can outline the bass notes. That's something to keep in mind. Now, the magic of this song is the groove. When we make this G, we really want to get warmed up with 16ths. Now, I've been talking about strum a lot recently, and if you feel like this is a little overwhelming, I will link some videos in the notes right here and the description that will just help you strum better. They're targeted towards pre-intermediate players, and so much of your ukulele is your right hand. A lot of times people think it's the left hand and the notes you're playing, but anybody can fret an E minor. The magic happens with the way you strum it or the way you pluck it. So let's make this G shape. Again, we're thinking E minor 7. And let's just do this. We're not going to fret it. We're going to just put the fingers in place, and we're just going to strum it muted. And let's count it together. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E. Now we're going to squeeze on the 1. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2, 3E and a 4E. Let's try the 1 and the 2. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. Okay, moving a little quick, but try to build up to that. We're going to add a down up. We're going to go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. That's a down up, mute up, down up, mute up. Down up, release pressure, mute, mute, down up, release pressure, mute, 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 mute. Down up, mute, mute, down up, mute, 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 mute. Okay, so now we're gonna add it on the 3rd beat. down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, this is where the magic happens. After the third time, we go down, up, we mute, and we go down, and then play the next up. And there's still that last mute, mute, mute. After that, you're going to get your pinky on the 5th fret, and it's all downs, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? We're going to go to this A suspended chord. The other option would be just lifting your ring finger up and playing the A9. That's going to sound better if you have some bass friends. And the same exact strum pattern. Now, this is harder to mute because we have 2 open strings. That's the advantage of this shape. This one, you kind of have to use your pinky to mute. And then after, F sharp minor is our second chord, or the 13, and it's the same down, 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 down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's put both those together nice and slow. That's the whole groove. It happens at 110 BPM, so let's speed it up a little bit. Let's try this A9 shape instead of the A sus shape. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's the groove. That's how we make it nice and tasty and cool. Now that's the chorus. The verse, you don't necessarily have to do the suspended thing. The verse, you can hang out on this chord for twice as long. And then this chord. Without the bass, they sound very similar though. So again, if you wanted to go to the sus if you're playing alone. Now you can mix in the suspendeds in the verse if you want to, just a touch on them. Every single verse is a little different and he's improvising a little bit. Again, one thing to keep in mind is extending these chords happens with the bass as well. So play along with the track so you can really feel how this isn't a G, it's an E minor. All right, and how you can feel kind of this 13 sound or this A9 sound. I think if you play it with just the drums and the bass, you're really going to like how kind of chords can extend themselves when you play in jam situations with bands. If you've never played with a band, you'll kind of be shocked how much the sound changes when you layer it over with the bass. And that is Good Times by Chic. Hope you dig it. Disco on the ukulele. Don't say it's not possible. Disco on the ukulele. Who said it wasn't possible? Not me. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today. Disco on the ukulele. They might have laughed, but today we're doing it. Breaking it down. Good Times by Chic. This one's going to be all about your right hand. I do solemnly swear on the ukulele to play funky good disco grooves. I swear on the ukulele to make my right hand a groove machine and play disco like a professional. I solemnly swear on the ukulele to take my right hand and strum like a disco machine to do Nile Rodgers justice. Let's have some fun. And there you go, folks. That is how you play Good Times. What other disco do you think would sound good on the ukulele? What other disco songs should we do on the ukulele? Let us know in the description below. And if you're not a disco fan, check out Hamilton Bohannon. He's the one that converted me. All right, everybody, that was it. Disco on the ukulele. They said we couldn't do it, but we did it again. Nothing is stopping us. First one in the new studio, as you can see. I have not quite figured out exactly the best angles or anything. I got books in my ear. I got a dresser over here. So it's a work in progress, but the show had to go on. So today was Good Times by Chic, and the show will go on. The show must go on. We're going to keep filming, but hopefully it gets a little cuter in here and a little more personalized and a little more up to 10 thumb speed. All right, until next time, but it still was a good time, right? Still was a good time. So keep on rocking, keep on rolling, keep on strumming, keep on having fun, and keep on expanding your repertoire. Your repertoire. That's a French word for repertoire. I guess for the variety of songs you can play, maybe? I don't really... Is there a synonym for repertoire? Your bag of tricks? I don't know. If there's a synonym for repertoire, let me know in the comments below as well. All right, until next time, keep on rocking and rolling. Have a lovely day. Life is good. And Nile Rodgers, from Daft Punk to David Bowie and everything in between, I appreciate everything that you've done for us. Rock and roll, friend.